Hello everyone! It seems like HD remasters are everywhere these days. I mean, hell, even Shenmue's getting an HD remaster. So, you know, everything is being remastered, and even games remasters of remasters. Looking at you, Devil May Cry. Coming out twice, PS3 and PS4. So with that being said, let's take a look at one of the first HD remasters. We are, of course, talking about Super Mario All-Stars on the Super Nintendo, which was one of the first HD remade remaster compilations. Basically, it was all of the NES games, Super Mario Brothers 1 to 3, and even the real Super Mario Brothers 2. So let's get a look, let's go in and we'll take a look at that just now. Okay, so the first thing you're greeted with when you boot up the game is this snazzy Super Mario All-Star screen. I like the fact that the Goomba down the bottom there, standing next to Peach, just looks so worried. I mean, Bowser looks as though he's gonna eat him, maybe. Peach ain't too bothered, really, so you're greeted with this little screen, and again, it does contain all of the NES games. So you've got Super Mario Brothers, the original. You've got the Lost Levels, which is the original Japanese Super Mario Brothers 2. You've also got the US Super Mario Brothers 2, as well as Super Mario Brothers 3. So you do get 4 games. So let's take a look at Super Mario Brothers 1 on the Super Nintendo. As you can see, a lot more details. The sprite work is a hell of a lot more detailed, particularly the background. I like the way the water effect is there. So what we're going to do is we'll bring in the NES version just now so that you can see the difference. You can see the background details a hell of a lot better there. In terms of the level design, they're pretty much the same. This is Worlds 2-2 that you're looking at. We'll take a look at some more worlds, but yeah, you can see the water effects, the way they the background objects kind of sway in the water effects. It's kind of nice. Whereas on the NES, obviously limited by the technology of the time. And I like the color palette. I kind of prefer the NES's color palette, to be honest. You can see out here the cloud is happy to see us. And again, we've got the flagpole here with pretty much the same logo, and the castle has way more details, and you can see the way Mario sort of transitions into the castle. In the NES one, he just disappears, and you also get this nice little level preview here for Worlds 2-3. But yeah, in terms of level layouts, everything's the same. I do like the Goomba statues in the background here. Like, this is the tribute to all of them Goombas that Mario has so brutally murdered over the years. But yeah, in terms of level layout, we can get these flying fish. We're gonna get hit. Nope, we're gonna avoid that one. Okay, so yeah, in terms of that, it is the exact same. So we'll go and check out the castle. Again, the castle way more detailed with animated flags on it on the NES, or the Super Nintendo one. And again, you've got the level preview there. But I like the way the brickwork on the NES version is all the same. You know, there's different levels of brickwork here. And I like it also has a kind of metallic look to it, like a shinier metallic look to it on the NES. I honestly prefer it. You've got the background, which does kind of change up the art style slightly. The castles really are a massive change. You've got there a big self-portrait of Bowser. Look at that, he's an egomaniac. What can we say? Just there with his arms folded. 2 giant posters of him. You can see here the Bowser is way more detailed. I still just gonna run through him. To hell with it. And you also get more details here on the Toads. And because we've done World 2, you get 2 Toads. And the number of Toads correspond to what world you're doing. So I'll show you World 3-1, because this is pretty different. You can see here there's a lot of snow around. The castle wasn't snowy when we entered it in 2-4. So I don't know why, maybe the snowstorm just happened. But you can see here it's a lot better in terms of detail there. I like the way the stars kind of twinkle. I don't know, I mean, you could argue the atmosphere a bit better on the NES one. I'll show you the bonus stages now. Again, they're the same functionally, but you get a nice big Mario portrait here that says bonus. So even Mario's an egomaniac as well as Bowser. Bowser gets his portrait in the castle, Mario just gets it in some cave. in some random cave. The layouts are the exact same. You know, you can, all the blocks are breakable as it was. So what we're going to do now is we will break all these blocks, and then we'll take a look at Super Mario Brothers 2, the US one, not the Japanese one. We should point out, there we go, we cleared them all, so let's go take a look now at Mario Brothers 2. And again, everything is pretty much the same here. You still pick your characters. Again, I'm a real man, so I play as Princess Peach. And again, everything you see is pretty much the same as the NES version in terms of gameplay functionality. This was, of course, what was it, Doki Doki Panic in Japan instead, because they thought the Americans, it was too hard for the Americans. So there's the NES version. Again, you can see the differences here. Pretty much the same game. You still get the flying carpet and dodge those little dudes with forks. And again, the bonus bonus area is the same. I was trying to do the level warp on the Super Nintendo one, but I forget you have to drag it all the way to the end to do it. And I like the little place where you go with the masks. I like the Atari style backgrounds when you go into the jar. It's very different from the Super Nintendo one here. So let's go open the door with the key, and we skipped ahead a bit on the NES one, but you can see here the layouts of everything is the same. The little Nazi type enemies, they're the same. I call them little Nazis. Those little dudes with the masks on. They always remind me of, you know, it's like they're kind of Nazi-ish. But other than that, everything else is the exact same. I don't know, I mean, the SNES one, the NES one seems atmospherically a bit better. I don't know, I think the atmosphere is a little bit better in this SNES. I don't like the brown. I think the way they've done the brown is a hell of a lot better on the Super Nintendo one here. Because it just looks like diarrhea on the NES one. At least it looks more believable. I kind of like the black backgrounds, to be honest. I'm more of a fan of the black backgrounds. You gotta avoid this star in the... oh, that was close. On the Super Nintendo ones, it's gone out of sync. But I'll sync it back up for the boss fight when we fight Birdo. So we fight the little end of level boss for you. So we'll get that synced up nicely. And here we go. And you can see here they put a bow on the end on Birdo. It's got like a shiny kind of, it looks like, I'm going to say it looks like a nappy it's wearing, but it looks kind of shiny in the Super Nintendo one, or the NES one. I don't know, I always thought it was a nappy that she's wearing. What gender is it? I don't know. You got the bonus stage there. Pretty much the same as the Super Nintendo one. You can see here, pretty much the Super Nintendo one looks better. And when you get an extra life, the screen flashes around, so, you know, that's pretty good. Even the graphics down below are pretty much the same. They're in full color on the Super Nintendo one. So we'll take a look at another level. And we'll take a look at the end world boss, so you can see here. And again, you can still do the power jump. You got like things, if you crouch long enough, you can do like a power jump. More pink Nazis this time. Pink sort of they do look like they're blue on the NES, interestingly enough. They're boys on the and they're girls on the Super yeah, boys in the Super Nintendo, and on the NES they're girls. So again, you've got the thing with the little mushroom that gives you the extra bit of health. You actually have health in this game as well, which is pretty interesting. You've got the 3 hearts there, so it's kind of similar to Zelda. So we're going to show you the boss now. I found this boss a lot easier on the NES, I'm going to say. This is the mouse boss at the end of the first level. You got to break these blocks. A lot of the theme of this game was carrying things, and also they had this sort of verticality to the levels, more rather than horizontal scrolling. It was more of a vertical scrolling thing. You see here, I think this mouse is a hell of a lot easier. It takes less hits to die, I think, on the NES one. So it's gonna get killed. Yeah, it takes a while to die. Gotta get, there you go, he's dead on the NES, and he's still around. Does he take more hits to die on the... Yeah, he's taking more hits. Look, he's already dead. Kill this sucker. Switch over to, we'll switch it over, gee, no, I can't go there. We'll switch it over to full screen. Let's see if we can kill this, jeez. We'll kill this sucker, and then we'll go check out Super Mario Brothers 3, which is my favourite of the Super Mario Brothers. We kind of got trapped there. die now. There he is, he's dead. So let's go check out Super Mario Brothers 3. And there it is. So pretty much, it's pretty similar. I mean, this was the most technically advanced Super Mario Brothers game on the NES. So there's really, I mean, there is way more color here, but I mean, in terms of technical differences, it's not as pronounced as, say, the original Super Mario Brothers. They had backgrounds. You've got like the animated things in World 1 here. They're all animated there. The overmap does have a bit of extra detail. You got that little Mario Start thing, which isn't there on the NES. And again, the level layout's pretty much the same. You got the extra enhanced background detail, but somehow I actually prefer the NES version. I think its color palette, it has a more varied color palette on the Super Nintendo, but I like the colors on the NES. You don't get the little fire flowers and mushrooms that you got there. This is World 1-3, so we're going to just say that the enemy behaviour is the exact same. You can see here we duck under that little dude with the boomerang. I'll show you the bonus area, I'll show you one of the bonus areas. But I don't know, I mean, I kind of like the look of the NES version better. I don't know. I just prefer it over the SNES version in Mario 3. I mean, Mario 1, yeah, you can kind of tell because it is a fairly early NES game. But if we take this bloody music note, you can get up to the bonus area, and again, everything is the exact same. The clouds are kind of pinkish on the bottom that we're walking on the Super Nintendo, but you know, even everything's in the same area, including the extra life there. You get that on like the second row of coins. I have played this game way too much. We got one extra life on the SNES one than we did on the NES one, and you also, all of the, all the bonus areas, all the secrets are still the same. We'll show you to get the whistle here. This. I like that. I prefer the grey blocks, to be honest, than the kind of bluish blocks on the on the NES version. I mean, they're kind of bluish there, but there you go. You can get the whistle to do the level skip. I will show you World 1-5 and show you how different it is. The art style's very different here. You can see here, I thought it was like an ice cave we were in the NES one, and here it's more of a kind of earth cave, dirt cave. I always thought that was all ice, and I kind of like the background. I mean, it's very, very different here. I'll show you the castle. You get the dog on the NES, and you get a snake on the Super NES. So that's interesting, and we'll show you the difference here. The text is pretty much the same. In NES, you get just the void you're in, whereas you're sort of jumping up onto the airship from the castle. And also the SNES version here, I think, is slightly better because you have the lightning effects, and it's nighttime. You're up in the clouds at night, and you've got the lightning effects. Whereas the NES, again, due to technical limitations, has no background at all. Everything's just a couple of clouds going past. But I think it adds a bit of atmosphere to it. So this is the only area that I think is really better on the Super Nintendo. You've got a little bit of transparent clouds in the foreground there. I will highlight another big difference. When you get to this guardrail here, on the NES version he stands in front of it, whereas the SNES version he stands behind it, interestingly enough. So he's not caring about health and safety on the NES. You go through here, and again the Koopa Kids are just the same. Not that difficult. There is one difference here. You get the lightning in the background, and there is a difference when you kill it here. We'll just get this killed off. And we'll show you, I like the way it transitions on the Super Nintendo version from day to night. You'll see here. So after you kill that Koopa. It's funny how they're facing each other. I like that. They're actually looking at each other now. And you'll see here, it transitions from day to night. It just stays night on the NES. The king is pretty much the same. There, yeah, it's pretty much similar design. The letter from Princess Peach on the Super Nintendo one, it has paragraphs in it. Look, 16-bit paragraphs, 8-bit no paragraphs. So let's take a look at Super Mario. A little bonus. We'll take a look at Super Mario: The Lost Level. So this is Super Mario Brothers 2, as it was released in Japan, and this game is tough. Pro tip for this one: pick Luigi. Pick Luigi. It's so much easier with Luigi. You can jump higher. Some of the jumps in this are ridiculous. Look at this. Look at the first level. Whoa, we gotta dodge around this shell here, and then of course there is the legendary poison mushroom. Don't take it. Don't take it, Luigi. No. So this is the Dark Souls of Mario games. What am I saying? Dark Souls is easy compared to this. I mean, look at this. You got the flying Koopa Troopa there. Look at that. Very little space there. You also get the trolley mushroom there that kills you. The death mushroom, if you will. And some of the power-ups in this are ridiculous. I'll show you this later on. You get sort of a lot of them. There's nothing there worth getting. There's another poisonous mushroom in there. So this is one the Americans couldn't handle. Oh, taking a hit already. I tried to jump and hit it and get the extra life. Tried to get cocky, but you know, not really. So I don't have Super Mario Brothers on the NES to show you, or the Super Famicom, Super Mario Brothers 2. The Famicom, should I say, not Super Famicom. Look at this trolley mushroom! Trolley mushroom! I hate them trolley mushrooms. Let's check out 1, 2. Look at that, they put that thing right there. Pick Luigi because he can jump those gaps, and some of those gaps are insane. And you get this part where you have to slide under. Oh, we got it. Oh, we hit the thing. Ah, damn it, I ran into the Goomba. I was hoping he would just jump on the Goomba. Let's just skip most of the level. This is you take the coward's way out. Skip most of the level. You can do the warps, but meh. Look at this. Look at them pipes. And this is World 1. I mean, some of the jumps in this are insane. That's why Luigi just makes it easier. There you go. We'll see if we can get to the castle. We'll see if we can get to the castle. World 1-4. Let's see if we can do that. There it is. The peace sign, Luigi. Picking Mario is a hell of a lot harder because he can't jump as high or as far as Luigi. So that's my pro tip for this game. And again, I don't have the Famicom version of Super Mario Brothers 2 to show you, so we can only show you the SNES version. And indeed, that was the first time I was aware of this, is when it came out on the SNES. We just fucked that up there. Be a bit slower, Luigi, don't get cocky now. We've died several times. I like the way, again, he stands behind the guardrail there on the Super Nintendo version, as opposed to the NES version, where he doesn't give a damn about health and safety. No one cared back in the 80s. There's another trolley shroom. Watch this for a trolley mushroom again. Right at the edge of the pit. No, we're not getting that. We are so not getting that. Let's go, Luigi. I think, is this the end of the level? Nope. This is the end of the level. There it is. Right, let's go do 1-4. There's animated flags on the castle. And the clouds are so happy, and they're happy that they're 16-bit clouds. Alright, here we go. I think we get another trolley mushroom. We'll try and get this trolley shroom. There it is. Got ya. So it did take advantage of the Super Nintendo's power, as you can see. You got the scrolling backgrounds there. Oh, that was lucky. That was lucky there. But yeah, sometimes it fundamentally changes the art style of these games, and I prefer the art. Look at that trolley Koopa Troopa there. Game loves to troll you. This is the trolley one. This is just Miyamoto trolling you. And again, another Bowser portrait. You can get past Bowser. Oh, I hit the top of the thing. Oh well, he's going down. There you go. So there you have it. There you are. Super Mario All-Stars. An interesting port. Some better, some good, but you know, overall it's pretty good. A lot of Super Nintendos came bundled with this, and of course later on it came bundled with Super Mario World as well. There was another Super Mario All-Stars released, which had Super Mario World included as well. So there you go, that is all for this video. I've run out of footage, as you can see. I'm not continuing with the real Super Mario Brothers 2. I'm not continuing with that, because it is a tough game. I mean, it is a really tough game. It is harder than Dark Souls. I might put some Dark Souls footage in, just for an easier time of it. I might put the ending of that Moonlight Butterfly boss fight in there. So there you go, that is all for this video. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye.